Bryn.Lena98 asks, how long did the training last before you started working in the parks? Thanks for everything you do for all of us, XOXO. Thank you so much for watching my videos, Bryn. I hope I pronounced that right, Bryn.Lena98. Thank you so much for watching the videos and for even commenting and asking. I appreciate everyone's comments. Even if I don't reply to you, I appreciate your comments. It's not, you know, it's hard to reply to everybody, but anyway, it took 2 days to train me to be approved to perform Princess Jasmine. And so I want to say that that happened somewhere in September, early September, but I was not officially scheduled to do my first Princess Jasmine shift until somewhere in October. I want to say mid-October, because my first shift is Princess Jasmine, and I'll leave a link down below to talk about my first day. My first shift was the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That's what I did. That was my first Jasmine shift. And once I did that, it opened up the floodgates, and all of a sudden I was performing almost exclusively face shortly after that. But it took them a little while to kind of get me in the system and recognized as a face character. So yeah, that was really hard waiting, by the way, because once you get your taste of face character, that's all you want to do. You just want to do face characters. You kind of get done with fur a little bit, but that's terrible, I know to say. So I apologize if that sounds bad, but that's I'm keeping it real here. I'm not trying to lie. I'm only seeing 2 comments from you, Disney Dude 1971. So I'm not sure what you were asking about a character. I just see it says character attendant ? And then it says like what their jobs seem like from your point of view. Sorry. You'll have to go back and comment your question again so I can answer that one. I loved character attendants, if I can say that. Maybe I do understand what you're asking. Like, what did I think about character attendants from my point of view? The character attendant jobs, that's not really training related, I don't think, but I will just say that from my point of view, when I looked at character attendants, I thought that their job seemed extremely hard because they had to deal with all of the mean guests, like all of the rudeness, all of the questions that I wasn't supposed to be answering, like about, you know, where the nearest bathroom was, because guests used to sometimes, I think if they were trying to be cheeky, they would ask me where the bathroom was, and I honestly didn't know. You know, like a lot of times I didn't know where the closest restrooms were because it wasn't my job to know where the closest restrooms were. But the character attendants, it was their job to take care of us and to handle questions that we might not know or that aren't related to our world. I was there to play make-believe, and the character attendants were my bridge to reality. Because when you're a character, you're always in storybook mode, and you never leave your storybook world. And so if you're asking about the bathroom and where's the best place to eat to a character, you're just ruining it, you know. So Victoria Grace 3579 says, to be a character attendant, oh, you have to go through the handbook and watch the movies for the characters that you are attending? Somebody is asking that. Oh, I don't know. I do know a character attendant, and I think she would love to be on my channel, but she lives in Texas now, so that kind of sucks. So shout out to Tabitha Peters. You were my favorite attendant that I ever had at Disney, and so if you ever want to come be on my channel, please be on my channel. DJ Rhetoric comments, I'm so curious about movement. Princess characters always look so graceful, but also their arm movements always seem so perfect, almost floaty, like they're underwater. How are you even trained to do that? Is it just lots of times in front of the mirror? P.S. Thank you for your wonderful, varied content. I love to watch. Thank you so much for saying such a sweet comment like that. It really means a lot to me when you guys are so sweet. Now, I've said before that I was not a dancer, so I kind of felt like I always lacked in the movement department. Most of the characters that get hired to perform a princess role, I would say the vast majority of princesses can move. Like they have good, they were dancers essentially. They prefer you to be a dancer. So the fact that they that they could move like that. They probably learned it when they were 3 and in ballet. Like, that I'm just keeping it real. Like Rachel, my friend, she was an awesome dancer. Most of these girls had awesome dance talent, but me, who could not dance, and I was one of the few, very few that could not dance. So the fact that they even got me, I think it was more because I had a strong Arabic look. Like, I used to literally have people ask me at UCF, at the University of Central Florida, I used to have like Iranian people. I remember some guys, always from Iran, would be like, "Are you from my country?" And I'm like, "What country are you from?" They're like, "Iran." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not Middle Eastern at all." But I used to hang out with Middle Eastern people sometimes too. So for me, I had taken acting classes though. I think that maybe I took, UCF used to offer free dance classes, and I seem to remember trying to take a couple of them to try to improve. But I was always horrible in the classes. Like, the girls used to stare me down and be like, "What are you doing in this class? You do not belong in this dance class." But you know what? Forget about the haters, people. Girls, get out there, get in that class anyway, because maybe you learned something in there. Maybe I learned something in those dance classes. Even if I sucked compared to them, maybe I got some hand movement out of that class, and that's all I needed to float by at Disney. So, you know what? Forget what they thought. I never saw them again. They never saw me again. But anyway, back to the movement thing. I did practice in front of the mirror. Yeah, it was a lot of me practicing in front of the mirror. I wanted to look graceful, so I think I learned what I needed to learn just to get by. And they never bothered me about it, and they never asked me about it. I think I already kind of faked it already, because I must have done well in character movement. Like in part of the audition, it's like an improvisational thing is what they had us do. So maybe I sucked at dance, but they thought I had a strong look. And then I also did pretty decent in my improv section, where like I had to pretend like, it was kind of like pantomiming. And so I think because I had that skill, so I sort of used it to try to kind of fake like I had some sort of grace. So it was a faked grace. Hey, you fake it till you make it, girls, and guys are the audition too. Fake it till you make it. That's my advice. But also try to get some classes. That'll help too. Yeah, but I was never like the best person with my hands. If anything, I just kind of looked at the other girls, or maybe I might have even asked them to give me some tips, but I don't remember it being a huge deal. How were Jasmine and Pocahontas different? Facial expressions, voices, mannerisms, etc. And was it hard to differentiate between the two? Which one felt most natural to you? I know I talked about this in another video in depth, so I'm going to skip this question, and I'll try to leave a link down below where I talk about it. I don't know, this question isn't specific to the training, I don't think. It kind of is, but I don't know. I think maybe I need to make a separate video, because I kind of feel like I get that question a lot, and I need to title the video to be specific to that question. But anyways, okay, next question. How do they teach you to do the voice, and how long does that take? That's from mad.spe. What kinds of training do they use to teach mannerisms and poses for each character? What kinds of training do they use to teach mannerisms? I seem to remember them just literally talking about how she carries herself, that they would just say in the training manual, Jasmine has good posture. To me, good posture, is standing tall with your, shoulders back, chest out, stomach in. Those types of things are good posture to me. I used to watch a lot of beauty pageant stuff growing up, like the Miss Universe pageant and everything. I always was kind of interested to see how the women carried themselves, and they always had such great posture. So I think I kind of tried to mimic that a little bit. But yeah, they didn't really teach me the voice. I think I did try to talk with a Princess Jasmine voice, though, at the time. So I might have changed my inflection slightly. They never told me to do that. I did that on my own accord. They wanted you to to do your best rendition of the character as possible. They really did, but it wasn't like it was a Broadway show where they were going to be judging you on your acting and you were going to have critics that were writing about you in the paper or anything like that. So they didn't stress about it too much, really. I think they kind of left it up to you to do a good job. And they had their strong Aladdins and they had their weak Aladdins, and they had their strong Jasmines and they had their weak Jasmines. Same thing with every face character. You've got your strong Elsas and you've got your weak Elsas. But hey, you know, when the strong Jasmine can't be there for such and such person or event, then, you know, they pull their weak Jasmine out. You know, I guess that's kind of how I saw it in a way. I mean, it didn't matter. I don't know. We were all, you know, the kids, your audience were largely 3-year-olds who were judging you. So, and they're not a hard audience to please. I think parents, more than anything, they wanted to see that their kid was meeting their favorite princess. And if you didn't really look like the princess, or if you didn't really have that great of an acting, like if you weren't that great of an actress, I don't think the parents cared. But at the same time, Disney did care because they wanted to put their best foot forward. So, I don't know, they must have thought that even if I would not have tried to sound like Jasmine, that maybe I was Jasmine-y enough for them, if that makes sense. So, you know what, maybe they did kind of touch on my voice a little bit though, but it wasn't anything hardcore. It was just more that they gave me direction. Like, you know, Jasmine, you know, she sounds strong, so you do your best interpretation of sounding strong. I mean, every person is different, and so, like, I kind of feel like all of the girls who did Cinderella or Belle or whatever, they gave their own interpretation of Belle, if that makes sense. But we all tried to be similar, and we all, if you were trying to be the best Belle that you could possibly be, trying to be that cartoon, then there was going to be, you know, uniformity, because we were all trying to reach the same goal, if that makes sense. Mad.SPE also said, do you do separate training for each character? Yes, I did separate training for Pocahontas and Jasmine. How hard was it to remember every little thing about your specific character? That's from Reese Mason. That was hard, especially for Pocahontas. More so for Pocahontas than Jasmine, because Pocahontas, being a real historical figure person, there was a lot more to remember with her than there was with Jasmine. With Jasmine, I could do improv when it came to tough questions, but it was a little trickier with Pocahontas, so it was hard. It was hard, I'm not gonna lie. That's why take a class on improvisation, acting improvisation. If you're wondering what acting class you should take, I would strongly suggest taking a class on commercial acting, because you're gonna learn how others see you in a commercial acting type class. Take a class on improvisational acting. That will also be nice to have in your back pocket when you're auditioning to work for Disney's entertainment department. Film acting is nice to have if you're into film acting, but commercial acting and improvisational acting, those are 2 acting classes I would definitely recommend. And if you live in Orlando, SAK Comedy Lab has great improv acting classes. Would highly recommend them. A lot of characters for Disney, a lot of them actually take improv acting classes at SAK Comedy Club, so I'll leave a link for that down below. Check it out. But those are all the questions that I'm gonna answer for now regarding training. But I hope this video was helpful. I will be answering more questions that are training related in the future, so keep an eye out. And thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Please like this video if you liked it. Share this video with somebody if you think it would be helpful. And I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.